Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to class. Hope and trust that everyone is doing well. Now, for today, we'll be looking at lesson 8.08, trig ratios, define side lengths. Please make sure that you've made your way into the Google Classroom and you've accessed all of these files. For right now, I'd like you guys to take the next 90 seconds or so and make sure you have your handout, your notebook, your graphing calculators, all the things that you'll need. Take a few more seconds to get those in place if you haven't already done so. Press pause in the video until you're ready to go, and I'll see you in just a moment. Welcome back. Um, Thank you for getting prepared and being ready to go. Once again, uh, our aim is to find the side lengths using the trigonometric equations that we've been looking at this whole time in chapter 8. Now, our think about it section, um, please take about 5 minutes or so to think about this question, read it through properly, and really get a hint of what this question is asking about, and not solve, but to write an equation, just the equation. You don't have to solve anything. Just write out your thought process of how you would solve it. And in part C, it asks what information would need to be known to solve the equation. Okay, so go ahead, pause this video, take about 5 minutes to complete this, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. Welcome back after your 5 minute think about it section. Let's debrief. So in our debrief here, you'll be able to see that we have a triangle that was given in the problem, and we went about figuring out how we would write equations for solving each one of these questions. So let me go ahead and show you a few tips of how you can go about doing this. The first thing to note is our mnemonic, SOHCAHTOA. And from your diagram, (53) and 37. Here's 11. This is C, B, and A. Okay. Now, from this, the first question is asking us to find our hypotenuse, and then the next question is asking you to find the L. So there's a number of ways that you can go about doing this, from using the SOHCAHTOA. So sine equals opposite over adjacent. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan is opposite over adjacent. So if we look at 37 here, we can go ahead and use 37 as a reference point. If we're going to use that, we know that this one has an adjacent, so we can use the cosine. If we were going to use the 53, we know that this would be opposite to the 53, so we could use the sine to get opposite over hypotenuse. So in our debrief, either one of those ways would work. However, I chose to use the sine method, which would give you the opposite, the 11, over the hypotenuse. So an easy way to get this would have been using the SOHCAHTOA. So we have the 11 over the h. Now note well that it's the sine of angle A, which is the 53. Okay, so that's how you could go about breaking this down in order to find the h. Similarly with the L, a way to find, there's multiple ways. If you have the two sides, you can use the Pythagorean theorem, but since we're trying to use the trigonometric functions, we would use one of the following. We could use sine to get opposite over hypotenuse. We could use cosine to get adjacent over hypotenuse, or we can use, as the example shows us here, tan, because tan says you use the opposite over adjacent. So tan of 53, 11 is opposite to 53, so this would be the opposite over L being the adjacent. Okay. Now, part C says what information would need to be known to solve each equation. Quite a bit of information would have had to be known, but one of the first things is you would have to know the SOHCAHTOA. For each equation, you could solve for the variable as long as you knew the variable of the trig ratio. So that means that you would need to know the SOHCAHTOA, and you would need to know what variable you're searching for and how and where to put them because of what SOHCAHTOA tells you. Okay, hopefully that makes some sense. All right, so our big idea for today, take a moment and write this down in your notes. Okay, press pause, and when you come back, we'll move on to the next slide. Welcome back. Our key points: multiple trig functions can be used to set up equations for missing side lengths, which is what you just went through in the Think About It section. Showed you that you could use multiple different ways to solve it. There's not one. However, you should use the way that seems easiest to you. The key vocabulary is the same as this whole unit. This is the same as our mnemonic device. This is just the way that it would normally be written, but this is with the mnemonic device SOHCAHTOA, so that's easy for you to remember. Okay. All right. The interacting with new material section, please pause the video at this time and take the next 5 minutes to get through this problem. I'll see you when you return. Okay, find the approximate perimeter and area of the triangle shown below to the nearest end. Welcome back, and let's get through this problem. Now, to debrief, I already went through the problem, and here is the way to do it. Now, note well that it's asking for the perimeter and the area. So perimeter means that you add up all the sides, and area means, for a triangle anyway, that you take half the base and times the height. So you're going to need to find the side lengths first, all two that are missing, and then you add them up, and then you can take the area doing the half base times the height. So to find this leg, you could use the cosine to find the hypotenuse, but to find this leg, you would need to use something that has opposite in there. Okay, so you could use the tan because it has opposite over adjacent, which this angle is adjacent to it. You could go ahead and find the hypotenuse first using the cosine, and then after you have the hypotenuse, you could use sine to find this leg, or you could find the leg first using the tangent, And then once you have this leg, you could use Pythagorean theorem to find the hypotenuse. There's multiple different ways to do it. This is just one way that it could be done. Okay, but note that this side is opposite to this angle. Now, another way that you could do this is you could fill in the missing angle and then go from there. So the missing angle would be 90 minus 68, which is 22. Okay, so you could use the missing angle 22 to use sine opposite over hypotenuse, get the hypotenuse. You could do this multiple different ways. This is just one way. Please update to make sure that you have the right numbers in there. Okay? Take a moment and do so. Pause the video. Then I'll see you in a moment. All right, welcome back. I would like you guys to jump right into the partner practice, which will going to be about 15 minutes. So please take the next 15 minutes. I'm going to divide you guys up into groups. You'll be entering into different rooms to do your groups. Actually, no, since this is just a video, I can't do that. So for your partner practice, please get going with the following questions. Make sure that you get these questions done. And as you're going through, you can certainly send me a quick private message about questions that you might have, and I will respond to you, and I will get these right out to you as soon as possible. I will also be standing by with my pencil and paper ready to show you how to get certain questions done or to answer any of your questions. Okay? Please take the next 15 minutes, pause the video, and get going. Welcome back. I just want to thank you all for coming, and there will be lots of challenges and things that we have to work through today in class, but I just want you guys to know that I'm looking for people to award Sankofa to, and engagement and resilience and all the other rewards. I'm looking forward to naming those things towards the end of class. So please work your hardest. And this time, take the next 10 minutes to go into the exit ticket part. Really shouldn't take you a whole 10 minutes, but depending on how you're getting along, this might take you more or less. But hopefully you've mastered the art of getting this done. And of course, I'll be sitting right there waiting for your questions. Okay, so please reach out to me if you have any questions on the exit ticket. Hopefully, you won't have to ask me too many questions and that you'll already master this topic. Okay? All right, thank you very much. Have a great day, team. Bye-bye.